All right, guys, my name is Ron Call, and this is Chris Keller, the GOAT.
Yes, sir. Chris Keller, Ron Unstoppable. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. This is the Jewels Podcast number 2. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to the show. Thank you for being a part of our community and family here. We hope to serve you and add as much value to your lives as you've added to ours. Our goal is to provide you with the tools, resources, insight, and mindset needed to succeed in real estate, entrepreneurship, and personal development. We give you the tools to find all the jewels that are buried within inside yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Today is going to be a hot topic. We're talking about hot pocket, hot topic, lease options.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to start with Chris. This is his specialty, right?
Yeah.
So explain to the people, what's the difference between rent to own and lease option?
Okay, so most definitely, let's go through the rent to own first. So rent to own is going to be a program to where you put 5 or 10% down. That's applied towards the purchase price. Then you're going to be renting at, let's say, a rate of $800 a month. Okay. And let's say the house is $50,000 total. Okay. So in rent to own, while you're renting, you're paying that $800. Only $500 of that, or let's even go lower, because a lot of these rent-to-owns, they never want you to get to the finish line.
Okay.
So let's even go out of your $800, because me and my wife actually did this a year, about 5 years ago. Okay. We got into this situation now. So we spent $850 a month, and only $150 of that payment was going towards the purchase price.
Wow.
Now, imagine how long it would take $150 to pay off $50,000 monthly, though. Forever. You probably will never own it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
How do they get away with that? Like, because, I really don't do rent-to-owns. I understand the lease option, but what is that like? You just agree to I'm only going to pay $150 towards the principal? Or
Yeah. So they can actually, when you looking at a rent-to-own, you really want to, pay attention in that contract, because they'll have in that contract, it might be in real small print, but they'll have a contract of what principal of the amount of your monthly payment is going towards the purchase price. Some people mistake it as my whole $800 payment is going towards the purchase price until I pay it off. That's not the case in rent to own. You know what I mean? So you can rent to own for 30 years if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But the chances are of you owning a house or owning a rent to own is probably slim to none. You probably will never own it unless you really love that house. So your $150 really paid off $50,000, which would be 30 years later.
So let's say, as a benefit to somebody that would do a rent to own, it's probably somebody that might want to basically just rent it and have that longer time frame.
Yeah, so they want a longer time frame.
Okay, so that's the benefit.
I guess that would be the benefit if you wanted a longer time frame, but the chances are you probably be a rent until you pay it off. Maybe own it. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
I mean, if that's the case, if you're going to put a certain amount down, you might as well go get you a rental. Go pay a regular $800 a month. It don't matter if $800 of it's not going towards the purchase price. I mean, what's the difference with $800 to $150? You probably put in $5,000 that you lost that could have paid your rent for 5, 6, 7 months.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense. And what exactly is a lease option? I want to know why people get so confused with this topic. I know they be in your inbox.
Right. So we're going to talk about what a lease option is. A lease option is literally, it's leasing a property for a period of 1 to 2 years. And this is a nice house, something move-in ready, in a nice neighborhood with an option to buy at the end of their term. So essentially how a lease option works is there's a 5% down payment that's applied towards the purchase price, between the 5 and 10% down payment. You're leasing the property now until you reach a credit score of 620 or above. Then you go directly to financing. So what that means is we've had clients come in with already a 600 credit score. They only 20 points shy away from financing it, but they're ready to invest in their future right now and make a purchase for a house. I want to buy a house, but right now I may not have the exact credit of what I need. You may be with a 550 credit score, got the other requirements, and all you need is the credit. So what I mean is there's been clients who've lived in a lease for about a year, maybe even 60 days sometimes. So we had 2-month clients go directly to financing.
Awesome.
And that's the goal behind lease option. That down payment that you put down, that same down payment is applied when it's time to finance. So when you go to finance, it's not like you have to come out of a whole nother $5,000. You know, we take your down payment that you put down towards the purchase price and apply that when it is time for you to lend with the bank.
Makes a lot of sense. So basically, the concept of the lease option is I'm getting the option with this money that gives me the right to purchase this property over that lease term.
Right, over that 1 or 2 year term.
Because you got to have some skin in the game. If you have bad credit, this allows you to actually, because a lot of times what people don't, it's another side to this this buying property game that people don't acknowledge. A lot of times people want cash or conventional. Like people are not going to play with bad credit. And people are not going to play with FHA. Like a lot of times they're going to take the conventional over the FHA, and I'll get into all of those shortly, the details of the different financing options. But far as this is the power of lease options, is actually a very valuable tool to utilize. That way you can actually get into a property if you're not quite ready yet. Because a lot of times, and I talk to a lot of people in my messages all the time on my Facebook, it's like, do you have a place to rent? Do you have somewhere I can go? I want to buy a rent on. I'm like, a lot of people just are not going to accept it. Right.
They won't though. And that's another goal with lease option to go. And we, of course, want you to go across the finish line. So when you come in and you get a lease option, we automatically link you in with the banker. We got a banker named Andrew. He's a beast.
Awesome.
So Andrew's job is going to be to apply your, he has you do a one little page sheet, and then he runs your credit, like knowing where your credit is and what we may need to do to get you to that 620. Andrew's recommended like clients before, hey, all you need is one credit card, pay it off for 3 months in a row. You'll get the 20 points you need, and then we can go with the financing. And bankers to bankers conversation goes a lot better than a banker and just, yourself individually.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So okay. So basically, you're telling me, like, let's say a person, because I could see where people could think somebody's trying to take their money. We'll play devil's advocate.
Right. Okay.
Be honest on both sides, right?
Yeah.
So a person, you're basically saying, I'm not going to put you into this lease option unless you're close enough to actually buy it.
Unless you're close enough to buy it.
That's a jewel.
That's a jewel. Now you gotta have
the big difference.
Exactly though. We're not gonna just take anybody who come with a certain amount of money and just put you in a nice home, hoping and knowing that you're just not gonna get across the finish line. That's why we got people in place like Andrew, my investor, me, myself, and we got credit repair services that we just added on to Provision Investments. And that's the guarantee that we want people to cross the finish line every time. And that, that's most definitely is to own an asset, is to own your house, through a different strategy. It's a new strategy going on where, sometimes with conventional, it's a lot of people in between you and you getting this house. With lease options, it's between you and the owner of the house.
Absolutely.
Terms.
Exactly. Terms will change your life. Me and Chris are investors. We buy properties all the time. I'm always looking for someone to say owner finance or sell terms. Can I give you $5,000 to take the house, please?
Exactly. You know what I mean?
You know how many rentals I'd have? Come on.
and then there's flexibility too with buying lease options. So the higher your down payment may be, you may be able to negotiate and get a lower month's rent. Like, hey, instead of 5, I may have 10 down. That may take your leasing price from $800 to $600. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Now, does that money, like you explained, that rent to own, it's only a small part that goes to the principal. How does the lease option money work when you're paying it? How does that work?
So as you're paying per month, none of that goes towards like the purchase price of the property. So
you're your rent.
Yeah, you're leasing the property until it's time to finance. You know what I mean? And let's just put it in a situation to where you've got a down payment, you're leasing, and that credit score is at a 610. You 10 points away. You can lease for 2 months and go directly to financing from there. The goal is just to get to that 620, 650 credit score rate where we can get you directly into being a mortgage owner, with the bank. You know
that makes
a
lot of sense. So there's a lot of value in the lease options, and it's more so about as professionals and as investors and advisors too. We have to do what's in the best interest of the client.
Right.
Like I turn people away all the time. Like even when I'm buying properties for my own investments, I'm like, hey, I think it might be a better opportunity for you to go with a realtor.
Yeah, and sometimes we can do, we will honestly redirect you in whatever option might be the right option for you or whatever route you need to go to. Sometimes if somebody come to me already bossed up, you got a 700 credit score, you've been at your job for 4 or 5 years, you've been a role model to your community, like a good solid 10, I tell them directly, like, just go straight to financing. Yep. You don't even need to go lease option. Yep, I can talk to the investor, get different terms, and we can get this thing purchased directly straight through him with the conventional loan or pre-approval.
Exactly. And we're going to talk about the options that investors have, which is the value we bring to the market space. That's a very important fact because there's 5 or 6 different ways to do deals. There's 5 or 6 different ways to buy houses. It's a lot of strategies versus just saying, how is your credit?
Right, exactly.
And that's another thing we're going to talk about, like, far as the benefit of a lease option to somebody with bad credit, like that is priceless.
That is priceless,
like,
though.
Genuinely priceless.
When you literally say you run into a house that's your dream house.
Yep.
I'm talking about, and you want this thing in the next 3 or 4 days. We can make that happen, most definitely. With a lease option. Sometimes if you in that in the other market where you looking to purchase a home straight out. Sometimes you might miss that trigger. Yep. People move fast too on homes they love. You know what I mean?
People move fast on homes they love, and also you got to realize the competition you're up against.
Yeah,
you're up against cash investors. You're up against conventional people with mortgages. You have people that have 750 credit scores, and then you got to compare your options. I'm like, I think that another token. I'll play devil's advocate. I think it is good to go to credit repair and credit services, but the person may not be motivated. That's something people don't think about.
Yeah.
Like when I like a lot of times people be like, oh man, I want you to go ahead and fix your credit. Well, what's in it for the person? Like, you know what I mean?
You got to think about
both people don't look at it that way.
Yeah, some people look at fixing your credit as a bad thing because you know what? Some people even scared to look at their credit score in the first place.
Yeah, you told me that.
You know what I mean? Like somebody may come for a lease option or a house they want to purchase, and if you ask them a credit score, they like, I don't even know if I want to look at that. And going into fixing that can be like a regular fear for somebody who's never really like watched their credit or worked on their credit. That can be something for them to work through. That even fear alone, like I don't want nobody personally to see what kind of dings and things I got on my credit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Another thing, like it just came to my head, and in our community, we don't talk about financing.
Yeah, we don't. I mean,
we don't talk about credit.
Most people don't.
They don't. We're embarrassed to talk about it. Like it's intimidating. It brings a lot of fear.
Yeah,
and it's like if you're trying to go to credit repair, you might not connect with that person immediately. That's another thing I like to. I try to put people in connection with people they trust.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It got to be somebody that you most definitely trust. Somebody that you're comfortable with giving your information to, and somebody who really gonna bring results to you too now. Because I've heard, stories in the past where people tried certain credit solutions and it might have not have been the right program for them. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, I mean, you really do want to, before you do just jump into a credit fix solution, you know what I mean? You most definitely want to shop around for the market. Go look at some of the people comments, reviews over that person, Lexington Law is one of my favorites.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Lexington.
You know what I mean? My guy Marcel, M3 Credit Pay Report.
Great guy.
You know, great guy, man. He'll let you know about anything that you need to know about your credit. How you can educate it and do it yourself. Right now, he's actually working on a book for the community to hand out to people where they can fix their credit themselves.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it. That's a blessing.
Most definitely.
Like I've always noticed, like when somebody has a goal, it gets done. If it's just like scattered around, nothing gets done.
Exactly.
So it's like when you're in a lease option, you're invested. Like,
you got to be invested into yourself, and it got to be a goal to get to that 620s mark.
Yep.
You know, to own this thing, most definitely. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That already got to be in your head.
It got to be in your head, and now you got a target. Like, so it's like, honestly, if a person doesn't make it across the finish line, it's really on them.
It really will be.
Like,
you
I
know
done
what I
done
mean?
everything. It's like with our business, I'm like, I'm giving you layups.
Right.
So,
you might get a layup.
If you don't just open up the credit card, open up the prepaid credit card, and have your charge line, like explain to me what are the things you generally tell them, so we just go from that route.
Yeah, so generally, like with somebody who may have like a lower credit score, you know, I tell them to go take a look at your credit score. Like, first off, Credit Karma free.
Yes.
You can always download that, get you a login, and see where your score is. Credit Karma, in a certain sense, with Experian too, they both will direct you on what type of moves you may need to do in order to get your credit score to a certain point. I got notifications right now, like if you make this move or pay off this, it can raise your score right now 26 points. You know what I mean? So they real directive, like on that application though, and letting you know. So I mean, if anything, in my own knowledge, I would tell somebody like that was short maybe 20, 30 points, just get a credit card. Like, invest into a credit card. Some people are like, I don't want to apply for a credit card and get denied. Do a deposit on your own credit card.
Yep. Or start with a prepaid. Like, nobody's going to deny you for a prepaid charge card.
Yeah.
Where you put your own little $50 on it and pay it off.
Right.
And that builds your credit.
Yeah.
They report that to the bureaus.
Even my own, man, my first card was Capital One.
Everybody has the first card.
You gotta have a Capital One in your wallet, though. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Now we got multiples of them, though. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I started off with a Capital One, and I put my own $500 deposit, and they sent the card to me with $500 on it.
Awesome.
And it instantly started moving my credit up. Like, now you got $500 of credit worth to spend. Now we're gonna see how you spend it.
Exactly.
So you gotta stay under that 10, 15% utilization, so you can max out on that 25 points that they was talking about.
So true, so true.
Most definitely.
So when you're in these situations, and even if you did not do lease option and you want to just say, I want to go straight to a realtor, you still have to put your steps and implement the strategies to keep your credit together and to raise your credit score.
Most definitely, yeah.
Well, at the end of the day,
I mean, it's for the best rates too. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna get into interest rates too.
Yeah.
And all right, so now we got that out the way. We're gonna talk about conventional side. If you want to actually go straight to a realtor, what you got to do and to put yourself in the best position.
Right.
First of all, I used to work in the mortgage business up in Detroit. I had my own little mortgage company for a short time before the market crashed. But then also, what I learned was, as a mortgage broker, I had a lot more options to offer you guys. But it helps when you come with a decent credit score. So most realtors are going to be like, hey, I want a pre-approval.
Pre-approval.
And then we're going to say, what is a pre-approval? So I'm trying to explain things more. So pre-approval basically is where we basically do a snapshot of your current income, your current credit score, your current debt to income, how long you've been on your job, and how much house you can actually afford.
Right. So, and let's not forget your bank statement.
Oh yeah, your bank statements.
We need to know what's in that bank account and why is it there. For your down
payment.
You can't. In that word, you can't have a funny amount of money. Like, how do you got 20 grand in there and you work at McDonald's making $9.99? They calculate all of that.
That's a great point he brought up. When underwriting get a hold of your bank statements, they want to know, where did this deposit come from? Yeah. How you get 15 grand but you make $14 an hour?
You gotta make it accounted for. Especially if you got your own business, you might be making $1,500 to $1,000. But they want to see it. They gonna want to see it though. You know what I mean?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
All funds have to be verified. And another thing with that's why I like lease options for people with bad credit. We're going to walk you through the process. But if you are literally trying to do a pre-approval, they want to have those funds sitting in your account for at least 2 months.
2 months, 60 days at least.
60 days a minimum.
At least, though.
And I believe the pre-approval is good for 45 to 90 days. I haven't done that side of the table. Is it 45?
I think it's 45 right now.
So it's still 45. Thank you for
45 days, yeah.
So you got 40. So now it's like now you're on the clock. And you're in a pocket, and you might have shaky credit, and you got to jump when the house come. It's just a very stressful process. It's not saying that can't be done, but if you want to go that route, I would rather see a person get all their ducks in a row.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure you got all ducks in a row, though. And let's talk to them about some of the requirements that a conventional loan is gonna ask for.
Okay,
though. You know what I mean?
The requirements for conventional. If you really want to go conventional with a good credit score, 620 is the entry line. Right. But like 680 really puts you at a place to get very good rates.
Good interest rates, though. Yep. Good interest rates.
And good interest rates to say, okay, I'm trying to explain things more. Yeah. Why would I want a good interest rate other than it feels good to have a low interest rate? You actually can buy more house. That's what people don't realize.
You can, though.
If you got like an interest rate of 5% versus a 3%, you may be talking about a difference of $25,000 in property you can afford.
Exactly, though.
So it's very advantageous to go ahead and fix your credit and put yourself in a position where, like I always say, you want to put your best foot forward when you're trying to buy a property.
Yeah,
and if you don't have your best foot, you want to work with investors that are willing to help you.
Yeah, investors, like I say, you can do it. It's a multiple strategy, different type of ways of buying houses. Absolutely. Though. But when it comes to pre-approval,
you got to be
it's gonna be on your shoes and on your grooves and shoes, though. You know what I mean?
Grooves and shoes.
On your grooves and on your shoes. We're gonna need a 680 credit score.
Yeah.
We're gonna need 1 to 2 years of work history.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that, maybe like we just said with the credit score or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna need to be checking some bank statements. We need to know some. We need to know everything.
Everything. So if you're willing to get all your ducks in, and no knock against the real estate community and the realtors, I love them to death. I work with lots of them, but if you don't got the pre-approval, a lot of people just not gonna have time for you. That's another thing people don't acknowledge.
Yeah, sometimes because when somebody ready to buy a pre-approval or whatnot, like I said, you gotta come ducks in a row though. But if you do not, then it's gonna be you going back to a process and figuring out what you gotta do.
And you you might not have the motivation. Like I always say, a lot of things it's too big of a process for somebody, right? I got to fix my credit. I got to save all this money up. You know what? I'm just going to keep renting.
Exactly. You can.
That's how it goes.
And it'll keep somebody fearful and stuck with it too. Like
it's extremely overwhelming.
I got to rent right now. Like I'm just renting is going to the easiest option though you can honestly take though. If you just want a roof over your head and you want to rent right now, that's fine. There's no problem with that because when it does, let's keep in mind too, people, when you do purchase houses, it does take, money out of your own pocket to fix it.
Absolutely.
If you don't, it's a big responsibility though, you know what I mean? And you got to be ready to take on that responsibility if something happened to your water tank and knowing about warranties that come with your property and who to call if something do happen bad. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's most definitely though something you want to be aware of. Educate yourself with it though too. Any route you take. Any route you take, educate yourself on it.
Yep, get all the details, get all the information.
Yeah. So
we got conventional, and we talk about FHA. What exactly is FHA? It's a Federal Housing Association loan where basically it's a government loan. This loan right here basically allows you to only put 3% down on the property that you're going to buy, which is amazing because a lot of first-time home buyers are usually strapped for cash. You know what I mean? So you're trying to take care of your family. You might just had a newborn. Yeah. You may have family members that you may be trying to take care of, your grandma. Yeah. It's a lot of responsibility.
FHA is nice, man, and it's a nice low down payment, though. You only got to require 3%, on the down payment of a house that you pre-approved for it or something.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
A lot of savings.
It's almost like this is how kind of like the game goes. It's a yin and a yang, right?
Right.
Super easy to get qualified for FHA. Super hard to get FHA accepted.
Yeah.
It's like God don't give it to you straight.
Yeah, it's gonna be straight up though. You know what I mean? If you missing something, you better go back to the pot and bring it back. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Taxes, everything.
Exactly. and if okay, we'll look from a perspective of a home seller, right? We're going realtor side again. So I'm going both between all three, hopefully give you a good 360 view of this whole game, right? So if I'm a realtor, who am I going to accept a conventional cash offer or a FHA, and why? I'm gonna take the conventional.
I'm gonna go conventional.
I'm gonna go cash first if it's a good offer. Then I'm gonna go conventional, and then FHA. I'm running a risk, and we'll explain why it's a risk.
Right.
With FHA, they run a government like certified appraisal type of thing on it, right?
Yeah.
Once they cap it, they're done. You're locked in for a year.
Yeah, you locked in for sure.
So if Johnny come lately appraiser comes out there and does his 1-2, which he's great at,
yeah, and appraisers,
and cut it 25 grand on you, the seller runs the risk of they have to use that appraisal for the whole year.
Yeah, because I mean, without the appraisal number, you can't. It gotta be an appraisal range for you to even be able to sell it. Now, take for heed like the market in the last 2 or 3 months, like people was able to raise their houses, 5 or maybe 10 more or 10 more grand, but now it's turning back around. I feel like it's most definitely to where people still purchasing homes though, but it's slowing down a bit because the prices is high right now, man. If you want it, you got to pay.
If you want it, you got to pay.
Offers come in crazy, though.
If you really want her, you can have her, but she ain't free.
Yeah, you got to go get her.
You got that one.
Most definitely, though.
Conventional versus FHA. So, okay, guys, when you think about grabbing that FHA, just realize, you might not get, that's a great point. Yeah. You might, even with the lease options, these are opportunities to help you get into a house. You can't always get the best house with challenging financing, challenging credit.
Yeah, most definitely.
Look at these are stepping stones to get you to a better place in your life.
Yeah, and then too, man, sometimes some people want to just straight skip to the dream home. Like starter home ain't bad though. You know what I mean? $105,000 house or $80,000 house. That's not bad though, because once you live in that house for a few years and you build some equity on that, you can always take that equity and apply it to a new house.
Absolutely.
Climb the ladder though. You know what I'm saying?
Start at the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now we hit.
Exactly though. Just
start from the bottom.
Most definitely though, and I'm pretty sure with certain conventional loans, they're gonna make sure you're able to afford that mortgage though.
Yes,
too,
absolutely.
So,
they're gonna run you through, and they're gonna basically, and that's another thing. It's called debt to income. It's your debt load versus your income. Real basic, right?
Yeah. Debt to income ratio.
Debt to income ratio. So when you qualify for a mortgage, they usually want to see you at 33 to 40% max. They don't want you going over those numbers. Yeah. So you have to qualify for what you currently got on your credit report, plus what you have with the new mortgage added in.
Right.
PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. You got to be able to qualify for all of that together.
Right. You have to though. And, if you can, congratulations to you though. You know what I mean?
But listen, some people can't. But that's the beauty of having options.
Different
lease
options.
I'm like, hey, if you can't put all these pieces together, that's a beautiful option. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody wins, and that's why I like investing. It's like everybody wins.
Yeah. And it's, like we were saying, multiple strategies, everybody win. We want to make sure everybody going to be happy with their purchase, with their investment. Either you go conventional, FHA, lease option, or you just want to buy a house straight, fix it up, and purchase that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Put it back out there for a rental, get some asset.
And even from an asset perspective, you got this $80,000 property, you could turn it to your first rental, use that income when you qualify for your $200,000 house.
Exactly, though.
It's baby steps.
Put that rental payment towards the mortgage now. It give you a big, nice slice of your mortgage off for you. Somebody else paying their rent.
Trust me, rental properties, that's another thing as entrepreneurs. Those rental properties can save your butt.
Yeah.
I've had some rough months. Like, I'm not no one. I ain't with guys I always say people post their victories and they quiet about their failures. I'm like, I've had some rough months. I'm not going to front. I'm not going to flex. Yeah. I just make it look good all the time. Trust me, it'll be some rough ones.
I'm telling you, if you have a month of maybe not producing anything, you still going to get the rental property money.
Thank you.
You still going to get your asset money, though. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
And that's another thing.
It's something to have, though, man. Build wealth, though. Asset for asset, though, man. People should most definitely buy assets.
Yep. Even if it's, like I told you, if you got into a lease option and you've grown in your life, keep the property. Keep it.
Yeah, keep it. There's so many options to do with it, but I mean, if you got the money to maybe do some painting on the wall, do a lipstick cosmetic is what we call
lipstick on the pig.
Lipstick cosmetic. Go ahead and make that investment and make that $700 a month. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can buy a $10,000 house. Go ahead and make it produce $700 a month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we have educational costs here. We don't have that.
Let me see where we at with it.
We're just trying to make sure we give you everything possible here, guys.
But
yeah, as far as from another realtor perspective, get that pre-approval. Like another thing, I give you a jewel here. Don't go to Chase Bank. Trust me. Don't go to Huntington Bank.
They was on C-Corp for like 30 days and rose up out of here.
I'm not trying to say anything bad. What I'm trying to say is when you have shakier credit, go to a local credit union. Mm-hmm. Go to somebody that can actually that actually what I call is like portfolio lender. You're like, what's a portfolio lender? Portfolio lender is someone that keeps all their loans in house. Right. So this gives you a major advantage. They're going to be a lot more lenient on their underwriting.
Right.
What is underwriting? When they actually look at your credit, your bank statements, your income, they're a lot more relaxed.
Yeah.
So I always say, hey, if you locally go to Glass City.
All right,
go to
Genoa
Direction.
Bank. Genoa Bank, a good one. Yeah.
I love Genoa. Hopefully, the next month or so, we'll be doing a sponsorship with them and giving some stuff away. We're, manifesting that right now.
We gonna do it.
we always do, right?
Right. We don't miss a beat.
Never miss one. So if you guys ever like, and I always say go broker third, go local credit union first. Go to a couple of those first, then go to a broker third to second. And then if you have credit score over 680, you can go to Huntington. You can go to Chase.
Yeah, some of the higher banks, yeah.
Just if you really have a strong profile. But if you don't, you want to actually build a relationship with your actual banker.
Yeah,
that'll change your life. You know what I mean? That'll change your life.
And like I said, I feel like with Genoa too, like I had a more personal relationship.
Really, what was your experience with Genoa?
So Genoa, I work with a guy his name is Scott.
Okay.
And my requirements, what I'm doing now, is actually getting ready to finance so I can go ahead and purchase a fourplex or whatnot.
Nice.
So Scott, he made it real simple. He asked me, do I know the price of the investment property I'm looking at to purchase. They did have some requirements as far as bringing in a W-2, mm-hmm. Showing some bank statements like we discussed earlier. Yeah. They run a credit report to make sure, your credit is right and see what kind of interest loans they can get you most definitely.
Absolutely.
And from there, man, it makes it a real easy process. So, those are all of the requirements that I was asked. Mm-hmm. And then, I can't forget too, they asked for about 2 years of tax scripts.
Oh, yeah, so absolutely.
2 years of your tax scripts and, that other information as far as your banking information, where's your credit at, your bank statements,
absolutely,
and a W-2. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, what are some jewels we can give some people that may be renting right now and they want to break free from that process? Because as a devil's advocate, I can understand people saying, "Oh, I'm just paying rent my whole life. They're taking advantage of me."
Yeah.
The way people say things is not correct.
Yeah.
We're providing a service for you. And it's up to you to take the steps to take it to the next level.
In order to take it to the next level, yeah.
You know what I mean? What are some jewels you give them, like they could work on? Like, hey, man, I've been renting here for 5 years. I'm working on my job. I'm at the plant. Mm-hmm. Me and my girl, we ready.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you're ready, first off, I would say, create a budget for yourself.
Ooh, good one, budget.
Yeah, where you can, start saving a X amount of dollars, where you are ready for the buying process. I like to tell a lot of people, too, that's been at their jobs for 5 and 6 years. If you haven't, utilize your 401k.
That's a great
You know what I mean? You can always take a withdrawal from there, and as you're working, they're going to refill payment by payment, right back to that step. So it's essentially like good debt, though. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, and if by means, if you can, utilize a 401k, to purchase a house, take out 5, 6, 7 grand. You know what I mean? Add it on top of the 2, 3, 4 maybe you got. Now you at $10K where you can qualify 10% for a $100,000 house.
No, that's great.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So just take it as a building step, though. You know what I mean? First thing, honestly, though, is gonna be get your ducks together. Like you need the funds. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't want to be living check to check.
Yeah.
And that's why I say create a budget. You know what I mean? And budgeting, it's not the easiest thing to do.
No, it's not.
It's not the easiest thing to do.
It's not.
Sometimes even me and Ron, we spend randomly like,
hey, Chris,
I didn't know we was going to spend $120 today.
Not me. Chris gonna be flossy as heck. That ain't me. I'll be like, dang, Chris, you don't want to just get a Bitcoin? You're like, nah. I'll be like Garcia. I'm gonna get Laramie, 10-inch screens inside.
Oh, man. It's a lifestyle, my boy, David Garcia.
It is a lifestyle.
Pretty boy.
Pretty boy versus petty boys. We both, though.
Man, we both, though. Gotta be sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Back to budgeting. I'll give you guys some tips and strategies. Like Chris and me, we haven't always been up. Like literally, like back in '08, like I lost everything. Like I had to truck drive. Like I literally drove across the country. I remember I was talking to my pops about it. He was like, I didn't pay all this money for you to go to college just so you could truck drive. You're an embarrassment. I was just like, I was like, man, what do you want from me?
What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? And it's like a lot of times, like I'm a big advocate of giving a community all the jewels to take themselves from the bottom and build themselves up and build their self-esteem up, build their financial profiles up. Like a lot of times I'll tell guys, I'm like, hey man, go get your CDL just so you can get a paper trail.
Right. More certificates, more merrier though.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That way you don't have to
got multiple skills.
Exactly. Like in our community, we have a tendency to like get beat down a lot. And I'm like, I don't want to see that. I'm like, hey, start that company. You know what I mean?
Start it though. You know what I mean?
Start that company. Don't quit your job, man. Just start the company.
Don't immediately quit the job. Let the job fund the company though. You know what I mean?
That's what I did. Literally, I used my job, bought my rental properties, got my lines of credit, got good with the banks, and then I exited.
Oh, you're right. We still got mortgage to pay now. You still got that. You know what I mean?
As they say, there's two things. It's called entrepreneur and it's called an intrapreneur, right? So what is an intrapreneur? Intrapreneur is a person that's wise enough to keep their day job and start a business while being inside of it.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Like, it's a lot of cost when you come to start your business, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. And honestly, folks, when you starting your business off, it's gonna be a lot of stuff that hit you off the blind that you knew nothing about.
You don't know what you don't know.
What I mean? Yeah, you don't know what you know until you get there. You know what I mean? So it may be a certification that you got to pay for that randomly costs you $300. It might be anything. I mean, it's just so many variety of businesses and it's fees that come with it. You want business cards, them costs. You know
everything
what I mean?
costs. It costs to be the boss.
Right. It costs.
We're not gonna get on employees and all the wonderful jewels that come along with that. But,
right.
And like that's why I'm big on leadership and self-growth. Like a lot of times we have to grow in capacity to support the staff. A lot of times it has to go from me to we, right?
Yeah.
Like that's huge. Like me and Chris, we talk about this all the time. Like, man, we gotta get some deals for the team.
We got to though, and it just be that urge too. Like
I feel it all the time. Like let's get another one. I'm like, it's fun to talk junk. Another one.
Yeah.
But it's even more satisfying when my team wins.
Right. When we put action into it and we get a final results, it's beautiful, bro.
That's way more important. Like it's almost more sweeter than the money.
It make it fun as hell.
It make it fun as hell, man.
That's what I'm saying. So damn fun.
This is a jewel right now. You see how this young man said it's fun.
It's fun, man.
If you're not working with people that inspire you or that you enjoy working with or it's fun, get out.
You got to cut the ties.
You got to cut the ties, man.
Because, if you ain't working individually by yourself, because everybody going to need a team eventually, though.
It's going to come. It's going to come.
And every partnership might not work, And
it might not.
Some people, honestly, sometimes might have a power trip or want to be more power or, just all kind of
or even
partnerships and relationships.
Even if we remove the ego, right?
Yeah.
They just may have a different way of doing things.
Yeah, or a different vision of seeing it, though. You know what I mean? Yeah.
They might not see it as a we. They may see it as me. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah.
We all adults.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Kill it individually, though. If you're going to do it like that, kill it.
Take off like a rocket.
Yeah.
Got a little candy in your pocket.
Yeah.
Take off like a rocket. Who am I to tell you what to do?
You want that confidence, though, when you first endeavor your business. Like, you want to say, I did everything though to set this thing up because it's your jewel, it's your baby though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And when you start bringing other people into your jewel, into your business, you know what I mean? It's gonna be people who work perfect though for it though. Like I can see passion that you got passion for this area, and it comes with like placing people in the right positions,
seed.
Man, to grow it.
Put the right
seed
bud in the right seed,
bro. Yeah.
I love it.
Grow by grow.
Yep, and that's another little jewel there is when you're looking for partnerships, I look for weaknesses in my area, right? That'll take you to a whole nother level. I'm like, do I really need 2 CEOs? Like, no. I need somebody that's cold with the money and cold with the marketing.
Exactly, though. them two alone will build the business, though.
Gotta build the business. You know what I mean?
If it's a task that you don't like, man, check out Fiverr, too. Like, man, Fiverr give people... It's people who will do a job that you essentially don't even like to do.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I mean, if you don't like to do the cold calling, or you don't like to set the appointments, or you don't like
somebody can help you.
Somebody can help you though. For a small fee.
Yep. So everything's for a fee. Yeah. And I don't want you guys to think we're getting off topic, but we're actually getting to the topic of building yourself. This is all. Life is all about stage 1. So it's like, let's say you're renting right now. I want to see you start a little grass company on cutting grass on the side. Where that way you getting another little revenue stream coming in and you building your confidence. Yeah. Now you say, oh, you know what, man? I did good, man. Made $500. Great. Now you say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and fix my credit.
Yeah.
See the cycle of self-esteem that builds from taking these small steps. Small baby steps.
Step by step.
The next thing you know, you done got your credit score up to 640, 650. You know what I mean? Now you feeling confident. Like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and try to get a house.
I'm going to go ahead and buy me a house.
Exactly. But a lot of times we be trapped in our cycle of work and family and struggling and I'm not good enough. This is not for me.
Yeah, man.
We all been there.
Trust me, though, man. You get down days, though.
Oh, man.
Good ones,
very dark
good ones,
days.
and it's down days, though. But I mean, always just keep pushing, though. Keep going.
Keep pushing and always say,
keep going.
Educate yourself. Get you some podcasts. Like, let's say, like back in 08, 09, 10, I had a very bad attitude. I was like, I don't understand why my whole world just came crashing down. This is BS. And I was not a very nice person.
Yeah, most definitely. and a lot of those, you know, podcasts and things like that, man. Put it on your ears in the morning, though. You know what I mean? When you might be working out. Or something that motivates you, like somebody you might admire. Go read their biography.
And you're going to see they went through hell.
Yeah. Don't nobody
your hell just ain't yours.
Jump up straight to the top and be like, hey, I'm a winner.
No. Even like, you know, we look at some people in the market space, they got everything, right? But it's like, you don't know what they've been through to get it.
Yeah. Or what it takes to hold that.
Oh, we're not going to talk about maintaining. That's a whole nother animal. Like, okay, great. Okay, Ron, you got all these damn houses. Now you got to maintain all of them.
You got to maintain them. Make sure everything paid for on time.
You got to make sure everything paid for.
Maintenance man's on them.
Thank
you. Know what I'm saying?
You got to put them on a cycle. Like, okay, every 4 to 6 months, I'm sending my guys out. I'm making them take a look. I'm saying, hey, what's going on? And plus, that keeps your tenants aware, like, hey, he's not just going to let me do whatever I want.
Yeah. In order to avoid a problem for the near future, though.
Yep. You resolve a problem before you have a problem.
Yeah. Just step in front of the problem before it happened.
Yeah, preventative maintenance. You know what I mean? And plus, it builds a good relationship together. Like, okay, he's looking out for me. He's looking out for his stuff. Cool.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
Very cool.
And that's you know, a good topic too, man. Just relationships, though. You know, with certain people, though. You know what I mean?
Huge.
And I don't know if we're gonna jump into it real deep into this one because I know we got
one coming up with Clyde.
We want to jump into relationships though with some good folks though. We're gonna bring some good Jews,
some heavy hitters, man. Some very successful guys like Clyde Kennard, man. I have the highest level of respect for that man.
Yeah.
Like literally, people don't realize. I don't want to tell his story, but I love his story so much. I'm gonna tell it anyway.
Let's get it.
Literally, the gentleman was literally started his company with a beat up old pickup truck.
2-door pickup.
2-door pickup. So when I hear people out the mud,
killing.
And the gentleman just kept working.
Got to.
Gentleman just kept working. I
love hearing a story from the bottom up.
I love the bottom, man. I'm like, hey man, if I'm looking like this, man, if you ain't lost everything, you gonna lose it eventually. It's coming. This game, we lose it, we get it back. So you want to go ahead, lose it, and become the man that can get it back.
Yeah.
Like you take everything. Yeah, you can take everything, man.
Though, you know what I mean? You You might be able to $0 amount.
Exactly. You might get zero.
That low.
Yeah,
but it ain't gonna last long.
No, it ain't gonna last long because the man you become when you have zero is so much more important than the man you was when you had 100.
Yeah, exactly. Though you get Jews within your own self. When you had a downfall, though, you learn integrity, though. You learn how to build yourself up, and when you do even get back up to a higher point, it just humbles you, though. Like, you know what I mean?
It humbles you, and you move different.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, well, Brian, why you don't got more stuff? I'm like, I remember getting spanked.
I gotta move a little bit more cautiously.
I'm like, I live very minimalistically. So like,
man,
I may look crispy, but I do not spend hard.
I know, man. I don't spend real. I don't spend crazily. You know what I mean? I like my necessities in life. You know what I'm saying? Essentially, though, but I don't spend crazy because my main goal is to try to get the money to work in another area.
Get your money to work for you. That's another thing. Like bypass some of the designer clothes for a little while. I'm like, hey, you might fall off a little bit, but are you really falling off or are you falling on? Are you putting yourself on? Are you trying to
keep up with the Joneses or something?
I'm like, trust me. I'm like, listen, when I pull them credit, I've done literally hundreds and hundreds of mortgages. When I pull them credit reports, them big old houses, and it don't be that pretty on that credit report.
Yeah.
So don't let, you may feel, this is what I've learned in life, right? You may feel insecure when you see somebody with a Mercedes, or might feel insecure when you see somebody with a $300,000 house, but you don't know what they've been through, and you don't know how that they're supporting and paying for all this stuff. Like, a lot of times the Joneses be going through depression. I'm like, they going through anxiety. I'm like, that's a lot of, if you got like $8,000 and $9,000 going out a month,
right,
to maintain all this stuff, even if you're a doctor,
right,
it's very.
It put a mental strain on you, though. You know what I mean? It can, though.
Yeah.
So you know, I mean, that's why you most definitely want to get an asset or something in place that's going to pay for something like that you're going to appreciate, that you're going to value, like your dream home, though. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, if that mortgage is going to be $1,200, I at least need a property or two that's paying $650 a month to cover that mortgage.
Yep.
And then other money on top of that, I can do, things that I need to pay other bills with, or put into the business, or move adequately. You know what I mean? And continue to grow, man. Like,
absolutely.
And then
And then we'll talk about another phase, which is replacing the desire for materialistic things with your purpose. Like, that'll take you to a whole nother world, man.
Yeah.
Because if you're constantly filling your void with stuff, oh, I got some new Louis. Oh, I got some new this, new that, new that. You're living for the outside. Like, what's your inside like?
Yeah. If you like, this is what I'm gonna say too. Like, if Louis or something brings the most confidence out of you.
Oh, that's another level.
You know what I mean? If you do it, or if you feel like you bossing up to bring more confidence out of yourself, and you got the funds to do it, by any means, like, rock out though. You know what I'm saying? Show yourself that you like to buy a jacket, or you know what I'm saying, maybe some jewelry that look good, that make you feel good though. You know what I mean? And I mean, keep your confidence up, but just don't overspend it though. You know what I mean? Like,
facts. Don't overspend it. But like, okay, like I was saying, like, let's say you got a passion for doing hair. I'm about to get to a super jewel. Like, if you got a passion for doing hair and you may work at the plant, maybe you do hair on the weekends so that way you find fulfillment.
Yeah.
Fulfillment is missing in the culture.
Exactly.
That's what I'm getting to.
If you got a passion for it though, you know what I mean?
It's got to be a passion. Don't just do something for money.
Yeah, we all love money, but don't just attack the money, though.
I'm gonna tell you guys some stuff. I got opportunities, and I'll be like, hell no, keep your money. I don't want your money.
Yeah, all money ain't good money.
Bad money. I'd rather reduce my living expenses before I take bad money.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
That's a jewel, man, because it's like once you get locked in, like you'll find out, like, these jobs in certain situations, like, they giving you a lot of money for a reason.
It is though. They want you to plan something. They build a 401k plan for a reason.
They got something planned for you. Like, it's no such thing as a free ride. And it's like, that's another thing that a personal pet peeve of mine is, like, put some skin in the game. Put some work.
Put some skin in the game. We'll put some skin in the game too. Let's talk about actually putting some skin in the game though. As far as, like, our educational costs, though. You know what I mean? Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, what's some of, the educational costs that may have costed us, or some of the programs, that you may have went to? Because I know a lot of people want to do YouTube University. YouTube that's a great place to learn something. But when it's really time to fully indulge, you may have to pay for a certain mentor that's doing that's doing what you
thousands of dollars, man, thousands of dollars. Another thing is, if you're brand new, like I'm about to get passionate as heck, right?
Yeah.
If you brand new, man, and you start coming to me talking about straight about the cash, I'm immediately turned off. Because,
we ain't building no relationship behind it,
First of all, it's just like, okay, we know there's money to be made, but are you going to be the person or the man or woman that's going to put the work in to make that money?
Right, exactly.
That's a whole different conversation.
It come foot down on the ground, though.
Yep. As they say, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. You want to be in your game, though. You know what I mean?
Yep. Because I'm like me and Chris talk about, I always say, what is the cost of opportunity lost? Like people don't even think about that. It's been years and years. Me and this man been working. Money been all jacked the hell up. Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
I'm like, tons of money.
It ain't all straight, gold and rocky, Jew. You gonna have, a rocky road though.
A lot of times people don't realize, like when you seeing a smile, you really seeing a man's overcoming his struggles.
Yeah.
Overcoming his challenges. This isn't like, oh, he's flossy. And like, no, that man been through hell. And you see, you're seeing his
cake and ice cream.
Exactly. You seeing him celebrate his triumphs.
Yeah, the wins though. Yeah. Stuff you would never think you would get past though. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, I mean, even with like before, I was just, looking for more to educate myself about real estate.
Yeah.
And really like just have a more understanding and a more knowledge of certain aspects of it, and what your state of mind should be, and that's
mindset is a big one.
Mindset is a big one though, and that's why we pick up that podcast or read them audio books, or if you were going to real estate, go to a seminar. You know what I mean?
Go to a seminar.
I remember I did a Than Merrill boy one time, like, you know what I mean? And just if anything, it's gonna turn you up. It's gonna give you the state of mind though. Like Absolutely. When you walk out of that place though, it might. They don't cost a lot of money. It's like $30.
You're probably not gonna get much out of it, but you're gonna get a start. Like that's another thing. Like a lot of times, like I know they want to upsell you.
Yeah,
but a lot of times, you're just trying to like. It depends on the stage you're in, right? A lot of people really are not ready for a mentor.
Yeah,
you
gotta work on you first.
You gotta work on you. You gotta work on your mindset, and you gotta put in like even we talk about Deontay, that young man that been putting 2-3 years of studying in. So when he came, I'm like, dude, this, and then we started closing deals.
And he already knew exactly what we was talking about.
Exactly. I'm like, do A, B, C, D, and we closed 5, 6, 7 deals. Boom.
Right. Did it that quick. It was real quick too.
Oh, okay, I can do that. I'm like, is this how you gotta do?
Yeah.
But I can't put the work in for you.
Can't put the legs on the ground for you.
I can't do that
trust
for
me. You don't want somebody else to do it for you though.
Because I always say, man, your value is in your action. So
action, yeah.
So if you was a man of low action, you probably ain't gonna be around very long.
Right. If you not staying moving and grooving, man.
You gotta move.
You got to move though. You gotta try to elevate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta educate yourself. Knowing more is more value to whatever your passion might be.
Facts.
And we can take it all the way down to from real estate to somebody doing nails.
This is not even about
grass.
Entrepreneurship really is the essence of providing value.
Right. For the community, for your services, passionately for yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You give a service and you receive a monetary value back.
Exactly though. Yes. And that's
as simple as that. That should be the end of it. No, we got 10 more minutes.
Overcomplicated sometimes.
Don't overcomplicate it. And if you find yourself getting resistance, make sure you're in the right spirit. Am I serving, or do I need to step my game up? Like, it's two different things. Like, your service may not be that good yet because you're still new.
Yeah.
Then your spirit may not be that good yet. You might have to work on your subconscious mind. You might have to work on how you view money.
Yeah,
that's another thing. Like coming from our community, like we like hold the money. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna try to take my money.
Yeah, or you just want to see a pretty $20,000 sitting there. Like,
Exactly.
let it sit.
But that 20 should be working to bring you back in 60. Like, we don't get on that hardcore stuff.
Exactly.
Like, should be bringing it back. Like,
keep real simple. Make 2, make 4.
Make 2, make 4. Flip. It's all about your re-up. Flip it.
4, make 6. You know what I mean?
That's why I get excited.
Climb the ladder, though.
I'm like, I get excited when I get an opportunity to get a cash flow property, or if I get an opportunity to do a flip. Like, I get excited.
Man, flips is crazy. The Chris is. I mean, I love it. I love a little nice fix and flip though.
I love it, but I hate the process.
Yeah,
but I keep coming back. It's like a girl, man. Like I just keep coming back.
We got to though, most definitely. You gotta.
Like,
we addicted to it now though. Like I mean,
well, after you do it's really like if you love it, you keep doing it, and if you don't love it, that's fine too. Mm-hmm. Find something you love and build that.
Yeah. My most thing I probably love is just seeing the results though. Spending the money, I ain't gonna lie, subconsciously on me sometimes, it be hard like sometimes to even want to spend the money like for a certain job. So what I mean is as far as like if I got a project or a rehab, like passionately, I want to really deck this thing out though. You know what I mean? I really will want to spend as much, but you know, like I said, you got to withhold your own emotions and spend what you can, though. You know what I mean?
Well, what I always say is I'm going to give you guys another jewel. We're going to have one jewel before we wrap this up about lease options and pre-approvals. But it's like, this is the jewel of the century. Don't over-rehab a property for the area.
Most definitely, though.
If you can catch that, honestly, you really will never lose.
You won't though. You know what I mean?
If you want an area where it's renters at $650, you do a $650 rehab.
Exactly.
If I got an environment where it's a $1,200 rental property, I'm gonna do a $1,200 rehab.
Yeah. Exactly though.
Be smart, guys.
And that go back to when what I was saying. Like, if when you your first time ever had to spend $1,500 to get this where you need to get to. You know what I mean? It's like, but it gotta be done though. You know what I mean?
Once you start spending, it don't stop.
It don't.
this.
Gotta get comfortable with it though. You know what I mean?
I don't want to get too comfortable spending my money, but we right there.
It gets scary spending it, but we got to though. Like,
all right, my number one guy, GOAT. If you give somebody one quick jewel on lease option, I'll give them one quick jewel on pre-approval before we go.
Yeah. So one jewel on lease option though. If you somebody who is, you got everything that you need, you got a good job right now. You have a decent credit score. And you are in a state of mind where you may be coming from renting right now and you're ready to move into the next aspect of owning a house. I would say move into a lease option or you can do pre-approval. You know what I mean? But we're gonna let you touch down on pre-approval. So with a lease option, you can come in, put the asset, put your down payment, etc. And invest into yourself. Lease, for, like we said earlier, till you get to a 620 credit score and finance the house. So long story short is what I'm saying. If you're ready to move from renting into ownership, and you only thing holding you back may be your credit score.
Yep.
Get move into a lease option though. A lease option will be a perfect program for you though. And my investors, we work with you with the banks. We want you to get across that finish line. So we wouldn't honestly put you in that position if we didn't believe and know you can get to across the finish line. So
I love it. I love it. Yep, it's facts.
Most definitely. So I, from being a rental tenant to actually going into a owner of a house, lease option would be something great for people to, get into because the other may be a little bit more complicated. You may not have all your Jews in a row yet, though.
That's very true. It's very true.
And within 1 year, you get that. You actually living into your home, and you getting ready to finance this thing.
It's a whole nother feeling.
It's a whole nother feeling, though. You know what I'm saying? Home ownership. Guess what?
You get motivated. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes when you just fix your credit, you be like, no.
But if you move,
if you got a goal, you can be like, yes, I can do it.
Like, you know what? I'm really about to own this house, though.
It's a way better feel.
I never forget the first time one of our lease option clients across the finish line, though. She called me. Her name was Rachel, though. She honestly moved into the house. She stayed there for about 6 or 7 months. Then she hit me with a text out of nowhere, like, Chris, guess what? I just find this.
Oh, man, that's a great feeling, man.
It was like some of the best feeling ever. I was excited for her, like, she's in the mortgage now.
Great feeling, man.
And it's a beautiful thing for her family, man. She's growing, and now she's building equity right now.
Praise God.
And that's a jewel and a blessing that, I'm happy.
That she might have not have had. And like a lot of times, even like as far as the jewels of pre-approval, if you're going to go that process, go to the local credit union tomorrow, talk to them, say, hey, man, what do I got to do to be approved for this? Because they're going to be the most lenient. Yeah. If you aced up and you ready to roll 720, 30, 40, who got that? 15 grand in the bank and you ready to roll, go to Chase and go ahead and go straight to the realtor. But out of respect to realtors, don't waste their time. Yeah. Out of respect. A lot of times people don't realize we are all adults and we're all busy. Don't waste a realtor's time if you're not ready. Don't have them driving around the city and you're not ready.
Just do some due diligence before you even get to that office.
Before you even get to the realtor stage, go straight to the bank.
Go straight to the bank,
That's the jewel. Go straight to the bank, and if the bank say, oh, your credit score is this, you ask them, where do I need to be to make this happen?
Yeah, most
like, that's my favorite
And they'll freely give you that information.
They'll tell you, oh, you need to be here, here, here. Like, one of my number one favorite questions to get anything done is, where do we got to be at to make this happen for you? That changed your life, man.
Yeah.
That is my favorite line to ask anybody.
You put everything you need, what you might be lacking, what you need to gain, and you get across that finish line, man. You get to that finish line.
And then once you do get that pre-approval, they're going to give you a price range. Say, oh, you qualify between $100,000 and $135,000. Yeah. Go on Realtor.com and start looking at houses between $100,000 and $135,000 before you contact a realtor. Respect their time. Yeah. Then once you've picked out 3 or 4, you say, hey, John, I want to look at these 3 or 4 properties. Do you have time, sir? Yep. Maybe not, sir.
And
I talk like that.
I'm approved for a certain rate.
I'm approved between 1 and 3, and my approval is going to last for 46 days.
It's immediately going to tour.
They're going to be like, done.
Right, done. And you can immediately start touring within your range. Once you got that pre-approval in your hand,
they love it.
They love it, though.
But I respect them because they know, jumping over here, I don't know why. But they literally know that you're serious. Because I understand, like, a lot of times people come to they're professionals. It's like you don't go to the doctor. Well, people don't have a lot of insurance. But you want to go prepare. Like, hey, man, I'm not doing well. I need to take care of something. Right. So that's that. Hopefully those jewels helped out. And we're going to go ahead and end this. So how can they get a hold of you, Chris? Like, where we find you at?
You can find me on Facebook as Chris Keller. Okay. On my Instagram page, you can find me at Chris_Provision_Keller. Okay. And I'm currently working on TikTok right now, so we're going to get the TikTok going on for a second, coming soon. A lot of friends, always encourage me to go higher. Let's get it, though. Go TikTok. So,
man, Chris,
TikTok going to be another
I always say Chris is the walking highlight reel, man. He go out of town, I'll be like, man, he a rapper? Literally the walking highlight reel, dude.
It's a piece of mind. It's a piece of mind when you need it.
I'm like a lame man. I was like, I'll have a Corona, please.
Man, hey, you more reserved though. Hey, when we get together though, it's a turn time.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. I cherish those moments together.
Most definitely, yes.
And if you guys want to get a hold of me, you can literally Facebook message me at Ronald Call. And if there's anything I can do to serve you, help you, or guide you, you got it. So
most definitely, yeah.
And that's go ahead.
Oh no, we good though. I was just saying, most definitely give us a call, man. We here to help the community. Any question you got is no stupid question, though. No question.
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
No such thing as a stupid question.
And also, with Chris, we also are offering $500 for anybody that has a property, a beat up house. We're here to serve you guys. Take that easy money and learn the game, because it could be your first deal of many with us. That's the beauty of this. Because Chris is amazing at getting houses sold. He's one of the best in the city. And I'm blessed to work with him, man. Blessed to work with him. So I remember I used to see him and like, another one sold? Another one? I was like, that's like 26. Like, how is this guy doing this?
We was going, though. We was going. Well, guys, but it's most definitely a blessing to help our community, help them, build themselves up. Let's get assets within our community And let's grow, baby.
Let's grow. Let's go.
Man.
And if you want to, if we also offer training, if you want to learn how to wholesale, how to do flips, how to do lease options, we got courses for it. We can put, if you want to put the work in, we can definitely get you to that next level.
Most definitely. Like the tools, though, too. The tools in the background.
The tools is the jewels.
Is the jewels, baby.
All right, guys. This is podcast number 2. Wrapping up, and thank you so much.
Let's go.